Okay, as promised, we're going into the Temple of Cazic-Thule. This towel is my swashy. My first online character ever, yay! Well, not this one specifically, but yeah. Anyways. As you can see, we have a choice. Spirits of the Lost or Temples of Cazic-Thule. Spirits of the Lost, I believe, was the instance for the Froglock quest. I think. Pretty sure. Anyways, Temple of Cazic-Thule, regular version. Hey, look, inside the walled compound we have some sort of like Mayan, Aztec-y looking lizardman thing. Yeah, let's check it out. Why am I moving so slow? My speed is at 10% for some strange reason. Let's see if this fixes it. No, it didn't fix it. Alright. Where's my pathfinding skill? I don't see it. Pathfinding. Where you at? Come on, pathfinding. There you are. That should bring you up to 26, right? Yeah, cool. Alright, so here we are. Inside the temple. That's the door. See? Alright, so you come out here. You got map this place? Yeah, this is the upper floor. Well, the first half of the upper floor. There's more up here. Lizardmen. Lots and lots of lizardmen. All heroic lizardmen. We got some spiders and slimes, and we're going to have some golems in a bit. Yeah, you can totally bypass that guy. Not sure why you'd want to. Where are the golems? There they are. Clay golems. They're monks, by the way, so yeah. I think they're monks. Maybe might be boozers. They're brawlers, so they'll ninja kick you. Nothing too terribly difficult. See, we got some more spiders, some more slimes, more lizardmen. Now, over here we got some name dudes sometimes. Yep, here's the despoiler. Hi. Remember that maze quest? Yeah, I think that guy was one of them. One of the four that you need to... Was it 4 or is it 5? 4 or 5 you need to kill. I think his other spawn location is over here. And there seems to be a player in the area. Is my buddy up? My buddy's not up. Yeah, this would have been a really exciting experience because Vinicor spawns right here. Epic 55. Wait, is he 55? Yeah, Epic 55 times 4. He's a dragon. He's the quote-unquote lord of this temple. Not really. He claimed it. Let's see. Oh, look, Den of the Dragons. He's basically an asshole who wants to enslave the Froglocks and stuff. And if I remember correctly, he is the son of Trakenon and Toxulia, and claims to have inherited some of his father's ability to see the future, in which he is the ruler of something. Can't remember what it was he was the ruler of. Was it all of Norath? Maybe he was just a greater power of North or something like that. It was years since they had that little lore snippet up about him, but yeah, this is his first incarnation. He spawns here, and he is a pansy. Oh no! I feel as though someone may have just run by me. Yeah, that was a stealthing player. Anyways, Pass and Vinicor, by the way, he is epic, so when you come in, once you get to those little openings right there, there's a few steps in and he will be on your ass. Actually, I want to tell you a funny little story about him. My most erotic memory of this game. Now you're thinking, erotic? What the hell? Yeah, actually, this character right here, on my first server, Lava Storm, came in here, and he was up. Now, the whole reason I bought this game is because my friends in Galaxies wanted me to play it. They were all hardcore EverQuest 1 players, and they were really trying to talk me into it, and I was remaining unconvinced because I'd heard bad things about Eq2. Well, specifically about Sony's customer service. And to be honest, my experiences in Star Wars Galaxies did not do anything to convince me that they were anything but accurate stories. But they kept trying to get me to play it, kept trying and talk me into it, and I'm just like, eh. But one day I was at EB Games, because my friends worked there, and I dropped by to say hi, and this was playing on EB TV. And they actually showed a big-ass dragon that was kicking the crap out of a bunch of players. And it was, yes, you guessed it, Vinicor. And I remember the first time I set foot in this zone, I said, whoa, wait a minute, this is where that dragon spawns, because I wanted to know where that dragon spawned, because I wanted to kick his ass, because he looked kind of cool. So I always came here, like, not every day, but almost every day I came here and I'd peek. And I recognized exactly where he spawned, because I could see these, where the dragon was, and the players getting annihilated. So, you know, I come in here, look, he's not up. One day I came in here and he was up. And I tried for about a half hour to get a raid form to kick his ass. And everyone was basically, no, not going to do it, not going to do it, or taunting me. Until finally, after a half hour of this bullshit, I said, you know what, guys? Screw you. Alright? I am braver than everyone on this server combined. And so Tal calmly stripped off all of her equipment, because I know I'm not going to be able to take this guy solo, but not be damned if I'm going to take equipment damage doing it. So I strip down to my skivvies and I run up there and I clock him right in the nose. I was all, pow! What you gonna do about that? Well, the amazing thing is that I didn't die yet. It took him 3 hits to kill me. Now keep in mind, he was redcon to me. That means that he was at least 10 levels over me. If I remember correctly, he was 12 or 13. So I knew it was. I knew how that was going to end. I actually inherited tracking on sight, if you know what I mean. And yeah, he killed me. Now, generally, when he kills you, he resets and goes back to his starting location, which is right there, where the cursor is. But for some reason, something got a little confused in the program, and thus the erotic memory just kind of pops into this story. You see where that little character is right there? Yeah, that's about where I was when I died. So I was just lying there on my back in my skivvies. Tal's looking right at me through the camera. She's looking right at me. She wasn't looking at the camera. She was looking at me, just like, why the hell do you do this to me? And I was like, I'm sorry, Tal. And then Vinicor, apparently he was feeling kind of lonely. And, yeah, he didn't reset his starting position. He reset his starting animation. So what happened for the next 5 minutes was that he corpse humped me. He just did this on top of my almost naked body for several minutes, and while I was laughing so hard that I nearly choked to death before he finally just despawned and respawned on his regular location. I'm just like, that was the most awesome mishap of all time. But we're done talking about that. So we're at the top of the little Aztec power state. This is the second half of the zone. Vinicor spawn, no, right there, Vinicor, 55 times 3, epic times 4. I don't know why they put the times 3 above him. I mean, he's an epic. I can't imagine a triple down epic. That would be pretty cool, though. So if you come past him, you come up to the top of the Runes of Terror, the big pyramid. On the 4 corners on the bottom is the little evil eye dudes. And then in the back, we have this. This is the, what was this thing called again? Fountain of Fear. Yes, this is a Temple of Cazic-Thule. Vinicor, by the way, is like kind of usurping Cazic-Thule's mantle. That's why he's here. He's not actually a follower of Cazic-Thule, although that does come back to bite him in the ass. Because, well, dragon or not, the gods don't really like it when you fuck with them. They don't. They really don't like that. Even when other gods fuck with them, they don't like that. And they'll do something about it. But anyhow, the point is, if you come down to the Fountain of Fear, you'll see this thing. It's a ring event. You kill it, and then more spawn in the corners, and you kill them, and then more spawn, and you kill them until eventually, I think it's a caustic acid spawns. It might even tell us. The acidic mass. Yeah, it's one of those. It's a big one. Spawns right here, and you kill it, drops the chest, get some stuff. Oh, I'm sorry. That's the Fountain of Fear. This is the not Fountain of Fear, for lack of a better term. But yeah, this is the Runes of Terror. Oh no! Splash. Anyways, more spiders down here. There's the Glare Lords. There is a replica of this temple on the Shard of Fear. It's just like this one, although no Vinicor. Something far more sinister awaits. Yeah. Check this out. It's an awesome little place. So yeah, this is a non-instanced group zone, which is kind of obvious with that person right there. So yes, if you come in here with a group, there can be other groups up, so you may be fighting for the contested mobs, or you may not. Lots of quests through here. A lot of them are clicky based. Some of them are item based. Clicky based is like, you know, those static book quests that I was talking about in the Firot video. Yeah, those, like one of these. or it could be a book on a shelf somewhere, or it could be out of place rock, whatever, just something that you have to click on and examine, and it gives you a quest. Anyways, the top half of this zone is not where the action is. It's actually inside this structure. Check out these eyes. I want you to know something about these eyes. Notice how they're not looking at Tal. They're looking at me and you. They're looking at me and you. They've got their eye on you and me. I can understand it. I am a sexy bitch, but that's a different story. Hey, look, see this guy, he'll have a quest for you. More of these eyes. Eyes everywhere. It's supposed to be scary stuff. Most of the Cazic-Thule stuff doesn't really scare me. Cazic-Thule himself doesn't scare me. He's called the Faceless because he doesn't have a face, except he does have a face. It just doesn't have facial features. But he does have a easily discernible front and an easily discernible back, so obviously he has a face. He's the god of the lizardmen and the amygdalans. Woo. Terror Fiend. There's also Fright Fiends. They're important for that maze quest. Oh, I should probably show you a little. Okay, so this is where we came in. This boom, boom. There's a little gnome dude. There are some evil eye names that are in there. And then it's kind of like a mirror image. Divide it right down the middle. Boom. It's not, as you can see, it's not exactly a mirror image, but it's close enough to it. All roads lead to Rome. Or in this case, all roads lead to the back of the temple. So as you're going through here, those are raising doors, as you can see. But you don't have to wait for them to raise all the way before you just run through them. There's sometimes a name here, right behind this little thing. This is some little basin that you need for that maze quest. Lots and lots of lizardmen in here. As you get further in, oh, in the side. In the side. This used to be where you would pick up the lizardmen lore quest. Remember the Sinister Strikes abilities that I mentioned? There was a book. What's this? Oh, another Idol of Terror. Cool. There's a book somewhere that you could click on that would give you the quest, although I don't remember if it was in this room or if it was in the room just off of it. I want to say it was in here, but again, I'm not entirely sure. You don't need it anymore. Now, if you get a drop, a lore drop from one of these guys, that's all you need. Just examine it and it will give you the quest right away. In the old days, you actually had to go find the book and then read it, and then you get the quest. Ooh, look at this place. Oh yeah, another draconic rune. I think that's it right there. And this should be the torturer's room if he's up. Yep, he's up. Oh yeah, that's another draconic rune too, right there, that book. With the funky, well, you can't really, well, you can kind of see it there. Yay, draconic rune. I think that's supposed to be a claw, maybe? Like a hand, because if you ever look at, well, it depends on the artist, but generally when you look at Western dragons, you'll notice they don't actually have 4 feet, they have hands. Or at least, well, it's kind of like Sarnak. Sarnak don't actually have feet, they have hands if you look at them, because their thumb toe, if you will, is actually, well, if you just hold your hand up in front of you, it's off on the side like a thumb. So they walk on hands, which if you tell, I think that should give them some type of like climbing speed bonus myself. I mean, seriously, climbing trees would be a lot easier if you had 4 hands, because you could really grip. But anyways, we're running to the back of the temple. This is the Pool of Dread. This is where that basin was. This is where the Lizard Man book was. Yeah, there it is, Lord Lizard. So it wasn't that second room. This is where the torture was, and now we went down this room here, and yeah. This is an epic who is not always up. In fact, I've only seen him maybe 6 times total. Woo! Watch those holes. Well, actually, you know what? You don't have to. If you fall down, you can't climb back up, because, well, no climbable walls. No! But what you can do is just do this. Walk through here. Go up here. And here's where that epic was. He might be up, he might not. He's not. He's shy, see? So yeah, you'll notice there's like a little, this is below this, these here. These are the upper levels. These are the lower levels. Those are the pits that you can fall into. So, and here I'll show you what I mean while using the map. See, we're the red arrow, we're going this way. Alright, we're in a corner. See the corner there, how the wall is gone? See? Alright, now we're going to go here and we're about to fall down a pit. There's a pit, ready? Ready? Here, I'll show you the pit. There's the pit. See, that's what I mean. These are below us. And here's the other pit right here, and it's the same on the other side. These pits are important, though, because if you're doing that maze quest, the screen... Oh, I hear some. Yep, there they are. Characters. If you're doing the maze quest, you'll come through here. Amygdalans, by the way. There's a golem that spawns here. Anyways, you open that door, you go up here, and you're coming up to the end of the zone, which takes you to the Sanctum of Fear? Wait, let me look. The Sacred Chambers, which takes you to the Sanctum of Fear, the Niscaneth, etc. zones. These are raid zones, except there is a non-raid zone. It's a group zone that is the end of that particular quest line for that mace. But if you want to do, what was the name of the quest? It was, when the game came out, it was like the end of the quest lines. To speak as a dragon, you had to learn Draconic so that you could talk with the dragon to find out why the fuck he was trying to kill this other guy. And shit happens, and then you're on this huge quest to fix things because the dragon wants you to. I'm not going to tell you what happens because that would ruin the surprise. But yeah, that's where one of the things you have to do is in one of those zones. I really hate Darren Ashenwing. He's the most annoying mercenary in the history of mercenaries. He is a Arakan mercenary, half human, half dragon. I don't really know the lore behind them. I know that the Awakened recruited them from a different thread. Remember, those are worlds. In his drive to destroy, well, his drive to conquer, which may have resulted in the destruction of reality. But it kind of goes against like what he stands for because he hates all of the lesser races. He doesn't even particularly like dragons if they don't agree with him. He's trying to start a new golden age with him as the god of dragonkind. So why the hell is he using half human, half dragons? That kind of doesn't make sense. But then again, the Awakened is an asshole, and he has no problem committing the ultimate taboo among dragons, which is to kill other dragons. Dragons always try to find others to do their dirty work for them when it involves another dragon, because that's a taboo that most dragons won't break. There have been some that will. The Awakened is one of them. It's one of the reasons why they sealed them up. That's also one of the reasons why Jaladar, after his bitterness and hatred, twisted him in the, well, I was going to call it the afterlife, but for him it's not really an afterlife, it's in between. He's stuck in limbo. And he's not as cool as he used to be because he's been twisted by that fact. But yeah, he's actually the one who, if you really wanted to point fingers, he's the one responsible for the Awakened being awakened. He used stupid humans, or demi-humans, to do his dirty work for him because he could not release the seal himself. The reason he wanted to release the seal is because he figured if the Awakened were to be awakened, or I should say the Sleeper were to be awakened, he'd destroy all of reality, which would release him being Jaladar from his limbo. Poor guy. I like Jaladar though, he's still fucking awesome. So that is the Sanctum of, or the Sanctum, that is the Temple of Cazic-Thule. I wish I could zoom this one out so you can see the whole thing, but yeah. Top floor, Finnecore, lots of lizardmen, slime stuff. Bottom floor, tons of lizardmen, and some amygdalans and some stuff like that. It's not a very big zone, but it's, you know, it's not bad. It's level 40 to maybe size 50, with Vinokur being level 55. So yeah, at the time the level cap was 50, so that shows you that he was one of the big guys, because he's a 55. So he would always be 5 levels higher than a in-game raid team. But the level cap has gone way up, and yeah, so don't mess with Vinokur. I should talk about Vinokur for a minute, actually. Okay, Vinokur, he, like I said, according to the lore piece I read, and this was a Sony website, keep in mind. I'm going to mention that again with the lore discrepancies. I think, and this is just my own personal interpretation of the lore differences, I think it's not something that you should get too literal about, but rather just think of the things that happened in EverQuest 1 as kind of a legend. All right, things really happened, but as the centuries went by, our memories changed, and we start telling the legends of these great events, but we get the details wrong, like Dominus Gannic being the Darslayer. Well, okay, yeah, sure, maybe he was the Darslayer, but the legend is not completely accurate, because Jaladar didn't go out to the Field of Bone and take on Dominus Gannic by himself. He actually had a very large group of lesser beings with him who held off the army while he dueled with the Ixar Emperor, or King, or whatever the hell he was. War Chief, let's call him War Chief. That's not mentioned in the legends. They don't mention how a bunch of adventurers were, kind of helping him out. And that is kind of an important detail to leave out, because he wasn't a Caraferm. All right, he did feel that dragons were superior, but the whole reason he split away from the dragons was because he believed that they needed to have a more active role with dealing with mortals, be that wiping them out or giving them guidance or whatever. He went and recruited adventurers to help the Ring of Scale fight the Cytherian Empire. He didn't enslave a group of adventurers, he went out and recruited them. It was only after he was killed and, well, things happened, and we don't know the whole details, or the whole reason why he was twisted and bitter, but he could not move on. Then he wanted to destroy the world, but not because well, partially because he just hated everyone, but also partially because he just wanted to move on. And that's the thing. These events have changed. We tell these stories, and then you find out, oh yeah, actually that guy, the hero of the story, he wasn't really the hero of the story. He was one of the main players, but the real hero of the story just, well, it was me, to be honest. I'm the Darslayer, because there's a reason Harladar's in the afterlife right now, and well, you're looking at her. Right there with that cool, awesome armor. I can make this armor, by the way, so if you play and you want some really awesome armor, because this armor's pretty hot, get it because it's magma, yeah, I can make that armor, so just let me know. Anyhow, Vinokur, like I said, he's kind of an asshole. There's not a whole lot of lore about him that I've seen in-game, apart from just stuff that he's actually done, stuff that's relevant to the quest that you're currently doing. Not a lot of background lore to him, but most, in the beginning, when the game first came out, most of the time when they introduce mobs like this, they would also put a little thing up on their website with just a little blurb giving you a little history, like those two Dracoda that I pointed out, Anguis and Leyden. They spawn in Antonica and the Commonlands. They're Dracoda, but they're exiled. They are exiles. They were driven away. The Dracoda are, as I've mentioned before, slaves to the dragons. They're dragon kin, but they're slaves to the dragons. And these two were trying to find a way to break that. They want something to break away from dragon control. Now, the rest of the lesser races are very concerned by that fact, because they think if it happens, then there's just going to be a slaughter, the likes of which the world has never seen. Maybe, Maybe, but on the other hand, they are absolute slaves to the dragons. If the dragons tell them to go jump into a lava pool, they will do it. That means if one of the not-so-friendly dragons decides to send them out to slaughter, like Kellethan, they'll do it. So what's so bad about them being able to make the decision for themselves? If they're not enslaved, then they could say, fuck you, I'm not going to go burn Kellethan to the ground because that place is cool. And yes, they can take human form too. There are NPCs out here who are Dracoda. Dragons do it. Not all dragons do it. A lot of dragons actually look down on other dragons who do it. Darthar is one who does it. Gorenair does it. Carafem himself does it, but not very well. But so Vinokur, going back to my main point, lore-wise, he was supposed to be he's rumored to be the child of Toxulia and Trachanon. He is a poison dragon. There's a little discrepancy here in the elements of dragons, actually. According to EverQuest 1, a dragon's color does not indicate their element. According to Tears of Vishon, a dragon's color does indicate their element. There is a specific quest that sends you out to find physical traces of a dragon's remains because there is an unknown dragon who is rampaging, and the dragons don't really know what to do about him. Who is it? They have no idea who it is, let alone why it's on a rampage, so they send you out to try to find any hint of what type of dragon it was. And the only hint you're able to find is a blue scale. And they say, so he or she is an air dragon, or was an air dragon before they died. Well, that clearly says, there's no implication there, that clearly says that blue scale means air. That could be also explained away by, poison is not really an element. Or you could also look at the main elements, air, earth, fire, and water, as aspects. So he's a poison element dragon, but his aspect is, I want to say earth, judging by his appearance, but it could possibly be air because Trachanon is blue, which would make him an air dragon. And, it could be an airborne toxin too. But yeah, it's like I said, there's discrepancies, so I'm piecing stuff together. There are lore purists out there who will probably throw a fit because EverQuest 1 says otherwise. I don't care what EverQuest 1 says. I'm not playing it. Alright? There are other games. Hell, D&D dragons. They can only use a breath weapon so many times in a day. Okay, well, that doesn't apply to this because I'm not playing D&D, so screw that crap. So, yeah. So that's my rant on that. Anyways, this has been a wonderful little tour of the Temple of Cazic-Thule. Remember, Cazic-Thule, god of fear, the faceless. Their strength makes them strong, or their fear gives them strength. So, yeah. Conquer your fears and be strong, or something like that. Or maybe it's give in to your fears and be strong. I don't know. I'm not really much of a follower of Cazic-Thule. Thanks for watching, and next time we're probably going to hit up the Obelisk of Lost Souls because, well, why not? Peace out, y'all.